All right, so I'm going to talk about nerds and weirdos, which you're probably thinking, what the hell is he talking about, which I'll get to in a second. Before I get to that, so these are my nerds and weirdos. It's my wife and 3 kids. Amy, you've seen her in the hat all week. So I don't know about you all, but if I go on a trip, and if I don't bring back a toy or something, this is my son Hudson. He gives me this look, and he says, hey. You know, he gets angry, right? I got to bring a toy back. So I know some of you probably need to scramble to bring something back to their kiddos. Anybody here still need to do that? Need a teddy bear or something? Okay. So can our people come over and hand these out? Keep your hands up if you want a bear. This is Ouchie Bear. This is our Firm Bear. It's pretty cool. It's got our logo on it. It's pretty neat. So keep your hands raised if you still need a bear. Okay? And this, I'm going to weave this in to my presentation a little bit. These are my nerds and weirdos, by the way. These are all Mutrix people. And by the way, Jane right here, she designed these, and she's really going to be mad at me in a little bit, I promise you. Okay. Keep your hands up if you want a bear. We'll have them go around. I don't want to delay things. I want you to think about the people that are in your life, okay? Who are they? You know, what do they mean to you, right? What are they in your life? When did you meet these people? Okay? And I'm talking about all of them, from the moment you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed. Who are these people? Okay? You know, where did you meet them? Why did you meet them? Why are they still in your lives? Because I'm going to make the case to you that you need more nerds and you need more weirdos in your life. Okay? So I first want to define a nerd for you. I looked this up. This is actually the definition. A person devoted to intellectual, academic, or technical pursuits or interests. And I think that probably is most of us in this room, right? It's definitely most of us in this room. I think I probably consider myself more of a nerd. Amy, who has not seen this presentation yet, we were back there, and she says, you know, I think you're the nerd and I'm the weirdo. And I'd probably agree with that. There's another one I found on this. This is a little image I found on the internet. Intellectual badass is another way of putting it. I know a lot of you are intellectual badasses. Brian Mittman, intellectual badass. Christopher Nicolason, Gretchen Nicolason, intellectual badasses. Mark Beeman, intellectual badass. Dustin Kuntz, intellectual badass. A lot of you are intellectual badasses, right? That's part of the problem, is there's a lot of intellectual badasses in here. But, as Bill Gates says, be nice to the nerds, because they're probably going to be the boss, right? Many of you are the bosses, right? I hired an intellectual badass, Anthony Larimore, Matt French, intellectual badasses. But, you're welcome. That's not necessarily the secret sauce. The secret sauce is something else. It's the weirdos, okay? The weirdos. A person whose dress or behavior seems strange or eccentric. I would say Christopher Nicolason is also a weirdo. He's kind of in the middle. Jay Ruane, weirdo, for sure. Jim Hacking, I think we all know he's a real weirdo. Jane, in my office, a real weirdo, okay? I like weirdos a lot. Jim Hacking, right? Right? Yes. He didn't know this. I asked to take a picture of him 2 days ago because of this, right? Total weirdo, right? But why? Like, why are these weirdos so important? I don't know if you know this, but Jim Hacking is pretty well known, right? He's a well-known person. He owns the fact that he's a weirdo. The socks and Crocs thing, everyone talks about it. Everyone talks about it. Bernard Nomberg sent us socks with our faces on them so that picture could happen, right? And Amy Poehler talks about this. Like, there's power in looking silly and not caring about it. You own it, right? You own it. I think sometimes we take ourselves too seriously, especially as nerds, most of us. So we take ourselves too seriously. For those of you that have not seen this, This is a zoomed in picture of these socks. His right foot is my picture, and left foot is Jim's picture. But it's a real deal. But why else do we want this, right? We want to break the status quo, right? Having these weirdos is great because they don't do things the way everybody else does them, right? Gym hacking does not do things the way everybody else does them. Big Mike, I'm going to call you out because you called me out yesterday, does not do things the way everyone else does them. And what do you remember? You remember Big Mike. Call BigMike.com, I think is what it is, right? You remember the socks and Crocs. You remember those things because they're breaking the status quo. They stand out, right? They stand out in a crowd. They're different. A lot of us nerds, we don't, right? We put our heads down, we do the work, and no one knows about it, right? No one knows about it. A lot of you are amazing lawyers, and I don't know a damn thing about you, right? I think you might be a good lawyer. I don't know. I happen to know Brian Mittman is a really good lawyer and business owner because I've had good conversations with him. But if he and I had never spoken, I wouldn't know. I'd have no clue. But the weirdos, my wife, weirdo, stands out, right? The hat. This was not part of this gimmick, but the hat. You know she's my wife, right? People know, oh, she's the one with the hat, right? I can't tell you how many people, oh my gosh, she's the one with the hat. She's got so much energy. She's a weirdo, right? She stands out. I'm going to pick on Jim a lot, right? Jim is a weirdo, and I love him. Like, Max Law would not be Max Law without the two of us. Nerd, weirdo. Becca, nerd, right? It's important. This is, I just searched socks in the Guild, and these come up. Like, Nathan Harris, right? He put on socks and Crocs and took a picture of it and put it in the group, right? Like, what are you all doing that's having people do that? Like, that's awesome, right? I'm going to get to a picture of something I do. I did not do it, but my weirdo wife did it, and it's got people doing the same thing, but I'll get to that in a second. So Ryan Locke does a video in the shower, right? Posts it in the Guild. And then Stephen Lefkoff, better view, Ryan's face in the shower or Jim's feet in socks and sandals, right? It's on the top of his mind all the time. Okay, how many of you, when you came to St. Louis, said, I want to see the socks and Crocs? Who at least thought about it? Right? It's insane. It's the dumbest thing, but people remember it, right? People remember it, and Jim owns it. I would never wear socks and Crocs, but he owns it. Here's another one. Mike Albee. Gym hacking. Birkenstocks are always impressive. I need to get some neon green socks to take it to the next level. He's on a ladder wearing socks and Crocs. He has someone take a picture of him, and he posts it. It's insane. There's another thing, though, right? So I'm talking a lot about the business owners being nerds and the business owners being weirdos, but I don't know if you've tried to hire lately, but it is difficult. But I think that there's an advantage. There's something that people don't think about. We're all fishing out of the same dirty pond, right? We're all putting the ads on Indeed, or maybe you're hiring ZipRecruiter, or maybe even tried LinkedIn. So we're all fishing out of the same pond. But I think there's a select group over there, and I picked this up. You're not going to be able to read this, but it's funny because this is a manager website, and they tell you about hiring, and they point out things that make you look like a weirdo, and why you might not want to hire someone. And there's like a long list of reasons why you might not want to hire somebody. And this one is talking about, sending flowers, candy, or other gifts to the hiring manager. Like, who in here, if you got a gift from a weirdo potential employee, would be like, yeah, that's badass. Like, I would love that, right? I would love that. We're told not to be weirdos. You go to the job interview and you sit down and you got to be polite and do this. Look for the weirdos. Look for the people that can make your business different. Look for those people. But there's a problem, right? Tracy back there, total weirdo. Matt French, also a weirdo. But I kind of have to channel their creativity sometimes because it's like that picture. It's like, and they've got all these ideas, and I've got to try to it's a good idea, but let's kind of keep it in, right? Just a little bit. But you at least got to channel it and use it for the good things, right? You've still got to take those ideas and use them for good. This is a picture, and this is where Jane is going to be so mad at me. Look at her face. She's horrified. She's looking the other way. But my weirdo Jane, she found Ouchie Bear. She's like, I mean, she did this on her own, by the way. We didn't pay for those bears. She went out, she designed the bears, she paid for the bears, and she hand-delivered the bears to our clients. She's the one that's on the phone with them all the time. She's the one crying with them. She's the one laughing with them, right? She's a weirdo, but we're channeling it. You got to channel it the right way. And that's why you want the weirdos. I want you to unlock your inner weirdo, and I want you to unlock the inner weirdo of your employees, okay? I think we try to suppress it sometimes. We really try to suppress it, especially me. I put up these walls around me, and I try to look nice and neat, and everything's perfect, and our systems are great, and the reality is our systems are not great. They're always working. We're always working on them, right? We're in the middle of a migration into a new system, and it is chaotic, right? It is chaotic. It's part of a new system, right? But it's just who we are. We got to show who we are. So my wife she's like if you took a bottle of soda and you shook it up and then you took the lid off of it. That's what she's like. But she's a total weirdo. And over the last 2 years, she has shaken up our marketing, right? She has really put a spotlight on us as human beings. And I think that that's really, really important. That's a part of showing off that you're a weirdo. It's good. And you got to put it out to the world, though. Being okay with yourself and being comfortable with yourself, and I talked about it a couple years about stop the bullshit and all the insecurities and all that, right? That's really, really important. But then you have to push it out to the world, right? You got to let people know who you are. You got to show people your socks and Crocs, right? As embarrassing as that might be to be a human being to put socks and Crocs on their feet, people remember it, right? They do. So this is a picture. I can't get my clicker to work. I want to go back, though. So I cannot go back. There's another picture I want to get to before. Okay, so I added this last night because Big Mike put it in his slide. And I wanted to make sure people knew that was me, right? That was me. And I was so pissed off that my wife posted that on the internet. Did you do it or was it my mom? One of you did it. You did it. And I'm on this text chain of about 35 lawyers, and it pops up every year. And then in the middle of the summer sometimes, like, hey, just as a reminder, this is Tyson, and they have a little fun with it. They send it to me all the time. It does the rounds, but people remember it, right? And the other one, you already saw it, is my weirdo family. I want to talk about the elf film. Oh, I skipped a step. This was actually marketing, though, by the way. This whole elf thing was actually marketing. We did a Santa Claus event where my dad dressed up as Santa Claus. Don't tell him, he looks like an awful Santa Claus. He's got the fake beard and everything, but he has a lot of fun with it. Amy's dad dresses up as the Grinch. He takes this rubber mask and puts it over his face, and he's about to have a heart attack whenever he's wearing it. He's sweating. But we all dressed up like weirdos, right? And this last year, because of COVID, we actually drove around the neighborhood in a parade and threw out ornaments and stuff, right? We were showing off our inner weirdo. And it was a lot of fun. People remember it, right? And then this other thing is, this is the one I was really upset with because this is the one that really makes the rounds. I'm in the top left corner of this. It's my weirdo family. And it's a great family photo. I love it, but I didn't want the public to see it, right? I did not want the public to see it, but it shows that we're human, right? It shows that we do dumb things, it shows that we do fun things, but it makes you memorable, right? People remember it. This photograph and the elf photograph will circulate for years and years and years because my wife had the guts to put it out there, right? You can't embarrass her, right? I need more of that. I know that, but we all do, right? We need to get more of ourselves out there. We need to get more of our socks and Crocs out there. We just need to do it. So I have a question. Will you be a weirdo with me?
Yes.
Will you be a weirdo with me? Will you? Let's hear it. All right. Thank you.